postcards and stuff people send in, all that stuff is women. And that's all for women. That's all for women. Women donate their money and their little gifts, all for the hopes of being shout out, being called out by the end of the week, by Bishop and the thing. That's what that all is, man. He doing all that for women's sake and for money's sake. And it goes on to say that a deacon shouldn't be greedy or filthy lucre. But if you look at what goes on in IUIC, you would see that the bishop and the deacons, they're all greedy or filthy lucre. The money, power, authority, more authority. These guys are a bunch of damn hypocrites, man. And if you check them out by those same men that leave there, I'm not making this stuff up. They have the testimonies, and they're saying the exact same thing. Every time something, if something good was to happen, like if they about to interview somebody famous, somebody who wrote books, or anything that you could say that could go down as something historical, Nate makes sure he's right there. He makes sure his face is right there. He makes sure his thumbnail's right there. He makes sure he's there to take all the credit. But when something goes bad, or there's an issue that needs to be dealt with, he makes sure he's far away as possible. They over there using the lowest ranking men to go and wear wires to go listen to a camp. Use the lowest ranking men to coerce them for a testimony. Why are you doing all that? Oh, because if things go south, you can just mark that guy off as like, oh, we don't know that guy. We don't know that guy. And that their bishop makes sure that he stays clear of anything controversial, anything that's that a problem that comes up, right? Because he doesn't want his name to be tarnished. But if you find out that he's really involved in all those situations, man, everything that happened with those people that are hurt by IUIC and they left, you find out that he's really involved in all of that. But he makes sure that his name and his image stays squeaky clean. But let something good come around, he makes sure he's there to take the credit, man. These are those same wicked scribes and Pharisees that Yahushua talked about. And Matthew chapter 23 is the first scripture that came to mind the moment I heard that man speak those words. This is Matthew 23, verse 4. It says, "For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne and lay them on man's shoulders." That's a heavy burden for you to tell a man, for him to enjoy a woman, he's got to go to the course of Esau, which has been known that he's been using the course and everything to destroy the man in the household. Imagine those men who will listen to him because it's a burden on them. They don't want to sin, so they're saying, okay, I believe these men, I got to go do this, I got to do that. His wife turns into a demon, puts through them all kind of hell through the courts, all because they said that he had to go and do that the Esau way. Man, that man could snap on those guys, man. And that's why the wicked scribes and Pharisees hated Yahushua so much, because when Yahushua came on the scene, he didn't put no burden on people's shoulders, man. He was liberating people, man. That's why the wicked scribes and Pharisees hated him, because they saw that the crowd and the people loved him, and they thought that their position would be get thrown out, because they say, well, the people, the Israelites, they aren't under our burden anymore. He's liberating them. Yahushua said, I'm come to give mercy, not sacrifice. He said, I shall have mercy and not sacrifice. But go ye and learn what that meaneth. Oh, and more importantly, this is another thing he said. Matthew 15, verse 3, he says, "But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of Yahweh by your tradition?" So, like Elder Malcolm mentioned, is Esau, because he scripture says he furnished mischief by law. Is Esau's court system his little marriage license or whatever? Does he allow you to have more than one wife legally? No. Is he going to honor you and your 3 wives? No, but according to the scriptures, a man can have as many women as he wants, as he can take care of. Now, you got all those men in that group who got businesses. Some of them are probably bringing in $500,000 a year on those businesses. What if that man decides to take more than one wife because he can take care of them? You know what they say? You can't do that. So you got to go legally get married to enjoy a woman, but which isn't in the scriptures. But if a man wants to take more than one wife, which is in the scriptures, they say you can't do that. Why would they say that? To appease those women, man. Do women like the idea of a man having more than one wife? No, because they're women. They're emotional. But is it in the scriptures? Yes. Solomon had 1,000 women. You think he had marriage license for each one of those women? He just took them and popped them, man, and set them up in his house or in his palace, or set them up in wherever they're supposed to be. So they're transgressing the commandment of Yahweh by their own tradition. That alone. Because you say, look, I want to take more than one wife. I can take care of one. And if that man and his women got an agreement going on, what's wrong with that? But they'll say, nope, you can't do that. You can't do that. So they're setting up their own thing, man. And it's all for filthy lucre's sake, to keep the women bringing that money in, man. And the scripture says, wicked men and seducers are waxed worse and worse. They're just waxing worse and worse, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not dealing with that group. And it's no surprise that they're going to keep stooping to lower and lower levels just to keep that money going in, man. You're abiding a heavy burden upon those men in there, man. You're just like Esau. You elevating the woman over the men. You letting the emotions and the feelings of women dictate how you run operations according to the scriptures, man. You break up families. That's violation of 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I never seen a group so concerned about who another man is laying with, man. You go in there, they want to know your wife's name, who she with, does she believe, what's her name, and if she don't believe, you gotta leave her. That's not according to the scriptures. They also tell wives, if your husband don't leave, you gotta leave him. That's not according to the scriptures. Read this once more. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of Yahweh by your tradition? Just gonna do one more. This is nothing new. First of all, why you think Yahweh Shah was so pissed off with these guys, man? Why you think that they hated Yahweh Shah so much? Because he was liberating the people. He was just coming telling them, look, man, you just got to believe. Have faith. And that's why they wanted him out the picture. Because they said, oh, he's going to overthrow our position. Right? He's telling the people not to free. The scripture says they marveled because Yahweh Shah spoke as if he had authority. They was listening to him over those scribes and Pharisees, and they didn't like the fact that Yahweh Shah was gaining favor of the people, so they wanted him out of there, man, so that they could continue to, run the congregation, just like Yahweh Shah said. That parable of the vineyard, where he sent the keepers to the vineyard, and Yahweh sent some fruit, and they beat the servants, and they beat his son because they said, look, this is our show. And they got pricked in heart because they realized Yahweh Shah was talking about them. All right? And that's those guys, man. Luke 16 and 15. And he said unto them, ye are they which justify yourselves before men, but Yahweh knoweth your hearts. For that which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of Yahweh. So with that, I hope it was edifying. And I say, shalom.